You are listening to the chat show, and if you're on Facebook Live, you are watching it as well, because we are over on Manx Radio TT there from the Shore studio at the back of the grandstand. We've got quite a lot of messages coming in.
Go on in.
Yeah, okay. So we've got one for John here from Leroy. How did doing the lap on Saturday change your outlook on making a comeback?
Yeah, it was a little teaser on it. Definitely got me got the adrenaline flowing, got the heart racing a bit, and definitely give me the buzz again, if you want to call it that, to race again. And I've done a 3-year deal with Norton, so there's time to get fit and strong again, and we can take those. I mean, even if I only do 2 or 3 laps this week, I can take that away and and digest that and get some ideas, and working with Josh, and hopefully we can go away for the rest of the summer and develop the bike and hopefully come back. That's my plan.
It was lovely at the end of the lap. I don't know if you spotted, but Josh immediately went straight over to you, didn't he? And the two Norton silver suits there.
No, it's quite cool. It's it's a typical TT thing that it's what are the conditions like? If there's any damp patches, I used to do it with all the travelling marshals. I'd be grabbing them by the collar and asking them what the conditions were like. And but the conditions were good. But I didn't want to say too much to Josh, because he was just about to put his helmet on and go, so there's no point trying to confuse the situation. He was racing with what he had, and did a decent job. Yeah,
because Milky called me and he says, look, can I speak to John first, because Gary wants to know conditions. And I said, yeah, no problem at all. You crack on, Richard. You jump on. Go on, Christy.
Another one here from Paul for all of you. 3 legends in the studio there, but who were your racing heroes? Ooh. Okay, so I'll start with you, Charlie, and work along.
All right. I suppose, well, you'd think of the era that I was racing in, and I was fortunate to race against Mike Hailwood on a couple of occasions here at the TT, and another time actually out in Australia. But so you'd think that he would be my number one. I'd be his number one fan, really. But John Cooper. John Cooper was a good short circuit rider. Disappointingly for me, he was never the best TT rider. But when I was a kid, I lived close to Alton Park, and that's how I got racing, because I used to go on my push bike and watch the racing, and that's all I ever wanted to do. And then once I saw John Cooper, John just had that different style, a different style to all the other riders. He really used to hang off the bike, and it was very dynamic. And he wore a red pudding basin helmet with 2 moon eyes on the front. So I ended up building a little Villiers powered special, which I thought was quite fast, clip-ons and a little racing seat off a Bianchi. It's a little Italian bike and a nice tank and all that. And of course I painted my hat red, didn't I, and put the moon eyes on it. Used to ride around the little lanes of Cheshire, hanging my knee out and all that. So he had a big effect really on the, and ironically enough, we're very good friends now, and which is nice, because and in fact Chris Carter is I got an email off Christy the other day to say that he's writing a book on John Cooper now, and would I write a piece for it, which I've done now. I've actually done it while I was here, and related that story as to what my I was such a big fan of John Cooper's. But of course you couldn't fail to be a fan of Mike Hailwood's, because he was just so versatile and so good, and of course he proved just how his versatility and his ability when he came back here in 1978, which of course we've got an anniversary of this year.
Celebrating at the Festival of Motorcycling even, aren't they? So there's a lovely piece in the Isle of Racer all about that as well, with all like the press cuttings from the, I don't know if you've probably read it, because I know you read quite a bit with all that stuff. Really good, some nice insights on that, and I've read that book, is it Need for Speed, Matt Oxley's book or something like that, where they compare the life between Max Biaggi and Valentino Rossi, and then they look at Hailwood's comeback, and it kind of bounces around a little bit, stuff from Ted McCauley and people like that. So really good read that is too. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, I've not read that.
Very good. But in fact, I've got. Oh, I might be able to get back home and get it for you, so I'll let you have it. So I know you do a lot of reading. Nick?
Brian, who were your heroes?
Well, when I was growing up, my uncle Ian McGregor raced, so I always looked up to him, and he was Irish champion and brilliant. So when I was a kid, I went to all the races with him, and how he was my hero. But then I got interested in reading all the magazines, and the Isle of Man, and seeing all the photographs of Hailwood, Dago, Bill Ivey, people like that, and I had this image Isleman TT and wanting to come and see it, and you know, dream was to race here, and you know, to win was just something else. Then, you know, way above what I ever thought I would be able to do. So you know, Ivy and Reid, Halewood, those were the people I looked up to in the Grand Prix scene, sort of, because you know, there's lots of magazines then. You had MCN or Motorcycle News and Motorcycle, and you know, there was all types of magazines and great photographs, and you just had this image of the TT in your head. And of course, whenever you came, you know, the likes of Balaf, it was different to what you had imagined from photographs. You know, you just couldn't believe it was the same place. So Ian McGregor, my uncle.
Ian, yeah, interviewed Ian a couple of times. Lovely chap, yeah. John?
I suppose I'm not quite as old as these two, so I'm probably another generation up, maybe. I mean, my hero was Joey Dunlop. Definitely was Joey. I looked up to all of them, though. You know, I thought they were all brilliant. They're all gladiators. They're all amazing riders and world champions, and just awesome round the TT. Because I first came to TT when I was 10 years old. Went down Bray Hill with my dad, and my dad just stuck my head through a hedge somewhere and watched that boy, and I was like, whoa. Whether it was Joey's number 3, whether it was, I mean, you sort of always follow the winners, don't you? You know, when you're a kid, his yellow helmet and things, and then watched him, and I got his autograph in 1986. I went and bought a picture off the promenade. Used to be these little shops who sell loads of pictures, so I bought a picture and got him to sign it, and he was riding that Rothmans RVF thing. It was really, really cool. I went on my bicycle and said, "Oh, can you sign this?" And I said, "Oh, can you?" You know, I said, "I'll stand on the podium with you one day." And he just went, "Oh, I can hear you." And that was about all I got. And I didn't understand the word he said.
Brian understood that, we didn't.
Yeah. I thought, oh, okay. And then off I went on my bicycle again. And I did. I stood on the podium with him 11 years later. And I said to him again, I remember reminding him, I said, "I told you." And he went, "Oh, hit you."
Did he remember you?
No. But then I became his teammate, you know. I've got some amazing teammates over the years. You know, I've been teammates with Michael Dunlop. I've been teammates with his uncle. You know, I've ridden with his dad. I've ridden with all the Dunlops. William and all of them. And Sam and all the other. There's loads of them, isn't there?
That's an interesting question then, John. How, obviously your hero was Joey, and you know, you were sort of besotted with the TT, and you came to watch Joey and you know, follow him. What about Michael then? Is Michael going to achieve the heights that Joey has? I mean, he's all 17 wins now, is it, here at the TT?
Yeah, I mean, it looks that way. He's only still a kid. Is he 29?
Yeah, he's just 29 or 30, yeah. I
mean, I didn't do my first TT till I was 27, I think. So, you know, he's got 17 wins under his belt already. So, he's got the passion, you know. He's hell-bent to win all the time. You know, he really, really has a go. You know, all his year revolves around the TT. So, I've seen him do things on the bikes that have blown me away. You know, when he did that 133.9 in 2016, I was in the same race. I was number 1. Hutchie and Dunlop caught and passed me, and I sat behind him. And you know, he gets tired with the brushes, a bit wild, and he does a bit of that skidding about with back brake and all that. But I think that's all a bit contrived. I think he just does that. I don't know. I think so. But when he's got his head down and he's hitting all the apexes and he's in that full race mode, It looked outstanding in 2016.
I didn't see the picture, but they tell me there's a picture coming out of Sulby Bridge, is
it? Right near the wall
there.
Yeah.
I still got a feeling he does that on purpose.
Yeah,
I really do. I might be wrong, and I might get chopped to bits for it. But I just think that he does. But I think he just wants people to have that image of him that he's a bit of an headbanger.
Well,
but he's not. He's very calculated.
Very
calculated, very clever. You know, just runs his own teams. And I was going to ride for him. You know, I quite enjoyed that. Working under him, if you like, you know, just to get into his head a little bit and see where it was all going to go. You know, I needed a 600. We've chatted all the way through winter about things. I chat to a lot of the riders, to be honest, and you know, we were just having a bit of a gas about have you got a 600? I'll build you one, and that was it. There was no contracts, no messing about, no deals. It was just I'll build you one, and that was it. And he did. He had a thing prepared. But going back to some of my heroes as well, I can't really go on. My first podium in 1997, this fella next to me was involved in that. Wasn't you? Remember I was riding the Aprilia, Brian Reid. Yeah, he came and I asked him if he'd come and give me a bit of a hand, you know, because your second TT, you don't know what you're doing. You think you're doing your head, but you know, Brian just little bits around the track, little bits of places to pick up, some peeling in points, some you know what Brian was doing on his 250. Because you know, I had a lot of respect for Brian. You know, he won some good tight races on 250s, and I was a two-stroke man at the time. And yeah, just prepared my helmet, tear off some bits like that. So yeah.
Okay. Well, we need to take a short break. We've got loads of questions coming in,
Yeah,
so
we're
we're going to have to hit a few of them in a few minutes' time. It's just on 8:31 and a half. Charlie Williams in with us, Brian Reid, and also John McGuinness.